How's it going, everyone? This is Lana Teramae from Mallet's West Radio. Today, my special guest is the one, the only, Frank from the Dutch metal band Cryptosis. Frank's here to talk about the band's latest album, Celestial Death, so stick around for the full interview. Alright, so, congratulations on the new album. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, so the previous incarnation of the band, Distillator, is that how you pronounce it?
Yep.
Okay. The previous incarnation of the band had more of a typical thrash metal sound, while Cryptosis blends different metal genres together to create a more cinematic feel. In your opinion, what which bands have been the most influential in shaping your current band sound?
I would say more like the Scandinavian bands, like Emperor, Enslaved, the Dissection, like like the melodic style of that, Scandinavian bands.
I see a lot of European influences.
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Alright, so given how successful the previous album Bionic Swarm was, did you guys feel any pressure to top it? Especially with the whole pandemic thing slowing you guys down a bit.
Well, we finished Bionic Swan before the pandemic, and so we waited with the release. We thought that the pandemic would be over in 2021, which clearly it didn't. So by the time the album came out, we couldn't tour, so we had to wait like another year or 1.5 year. And by the time we started touring, we like started writing already some new stuff. So it was like we didn't really feel like a pressure of releasing new material or like to top what we previously had done, because it was quite a long time, like I think like 4 years. So we gradually went, casually writing, and then it became a bit more serious. And by the time we had everything ready, we already released an EP in the meantime. And so it was it was quite natural, and we didn't really feel stress or anything about this.
Does that call EP, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I noticed that the title track is included on this new album. What was the decision behind that?
We played in 70,000 Tons of Metal Festival in Miami in the cruise, and we got to meet Stefan from the band Obscura. So he watched our concert, and like we started talking on social media afterwards. And at some point, he said, like, "Hey, why don't you guys come with me on the tour with Cynic that I'm planning here in Europe?" And for us, that was really nice, you know. So we thought, like, okay, we are going on tour, but our album is already like super old, super old, but like compared to what's usually the case. And we're like, okay, we have some new material which we can try out live, but it would be cool for the fans to have like some limited edition, like vinyl or anything like this. So that's basically how the idea came up, and we had a really killer show in Athens in Greece 2 years ago. So we also had recordings of that concert. We put everything together, and like we could, we had something in between for fans to wait for new material, and for us a song that we could actually check out live in the setting, how it would work, how it would sound, like the difficulties of the newer sound, so to say, how we can tackle this in a live situation. Yeah.
I think the music video definitely helps make the song memorable.
Yeah, yeah. Nice.
Alright, so moving on to the new album, the press release says Celestial Death is a more nuanced and complex affair with lyrics that draw a red line between the horrors of the present day and the limitless chaos of the future. Can you go into more details about the new album?
Like on the concept, you mean, or?
Yeah, the concept, like overall.
Yeah, the overall concept is, like we're living in a time right now where it's like basically a new era, technology era. We had just started with all these things like maybe 30 years ago. And, we are at the doorstep of a new time. Like, um, things like artificial intelligence 20 years ago were like super futuristic concept, and these days kids use it in school, so it's just a matter of 20 years, and what is the future gonna hold? So basically this is what we are writing about, and we're writing about your own identity in this changing world. A song that we have, Faceless Matter, is about this. Like everyone gets this news and information from the same few media companies. Everyone wears clothes from the same multinational companies, and everyone starts to become like more or less the same, and not only visually but also in the way people think. And like we zoomed in on topics like this for the album.
Would you say the concept is like a continuation of Bionic Swarm?
Yeah, Bionic Swans is more like futuristic in this sense, like the lyrics really describe like a world from 2149, basically, as we put. But yeah, this is more like how we express and how we feel like these days. But the like underlying theme, yeah, could be more or less the same. Yeah.
I mean, both definitely talk about how the takeover of modern technology and how that's impacting humans overall. Um, so, given that, what, in your opinion, what are the pros and cons of modern technology? Social media, AI, etc.
It's like from a band perspective, it's like a really really nice tool. I mean, you can reach so many people in such a simple way. Like you have an account for your band. Every band member has account. You have different people there. Like you can, sponsor some message. You can like reach a broad audience. Whereas back in the day, it was a lot harder. Like you had to get in like TV, or you had to buy printed media, and this was super expensive. And this way for us, at least in our opinion, is pretty nice. But there's also a downside of it. Like for instance, Spotify. Yes, you have on your fingertip, the whole world of music. Like name a song and you can find it there. And but on the other hand, like these systems also track everything you do. Like they know exactly what you listen to, when you listen to, what mood you have, like all this kind of stuff. And do you really want to, like, do you really want these companies to know all this stuff about you? I
Yeah,
think that's the question you should ask yourself.
it's really creepy. I'm a big Disney fan, and Spotify keeps on playing Disneyland advertisements. That's really creepy. Um, I imagine that with Spotify, given that your music, you have to listen to it like all in one go in the tracklist order because of the concept. I feel like Spotify and like other streaming service, it kind of like hinders that because you can just pick the songs you want to choose, so it kind of takes away the album feel. What do you think?
Yeah, it's also something that with the new generation, young generation, is how they listen to music or consume music, as some people would say. And yeah, it's always better to listen to an album, from start to finish, especially when artists put a lot of work and a lot of time, and a lot of thought into this. And like we have written Celestial Death as a concept album, so it has the best experience listening from start to finish. But we also know that it's not the case anymore these days, and we also have released a few singles already. So yeah, it's different, and we are aware of this. But you know, it's like it's just how it is, and we have to accept.
Yeah, definitely. So what are your favorite tracks from the new album, Celestial Death?
From a player's perspective is different than from a music fan that I am also. And I think from a player's perspective, I really like the song Faceless Matter. It's like super fast, like yeah, really, like you can show off some stuff. But I also really like songs like Reign of Infinite or Absent Presence, which are like like more cinematic, more atmospheric songs. I think the album is pretty broad, and like someday these faster songs are my favorites when I'm in a car, and I have to drive long distance, or sometimes I like to relax a bit more, and then these slower songs. What I also really like is the musical intermezzos that we have, like motionless balance, for instance, that has like basically no guitar, no drums, no voice, just like some synthesizer stuff. And also the outro, like the coda, which has like some really dark and dramatic atmosphere. Yeah.
Give you props because a lot of metal bands, like a lot of rock bands in general, they they like to show off guitar wise, whereas this album, the guitars, I don't want to say hindered, but they're kind of like under the radar to create a more balanced sound.
Yeah, that was something that we decided to do, and our previous album Bionic Swarm was like really guitar focused. It was basically like every song has like a 10 super cool riffs, super challenging, super over the top, fast, intricate, whatever. And this time I was more responsible for songwriting, and to be honest, I cannot play this kind of stuff like our guitar player does. It's just next level stuff. And so I was, I'm more into like groove, melody, atmosphere, and this kind of stuff. And so naturally, the songs also became a bit more like this. And then once our guitar player started, like put his fingerprints on some songs, then it became a really balanced thing. Like there are some really over the top guitar. Things even in the song Static Horizon, where he's playing like super technical riff, and then even sings at the same time. Like for me it's mind-blowing. And you know but it's definitely was definitely a choice to go like more atmospheric than again guitar focused, and which I also think sometimes the guitar is a bit too prominent in most metal these days. And like good melody is always, in my opinion, always the way to go.
You mentioned groove metal, made me think about absent presence, um, which is a little bit different from the rest of the tracks on the album because a lot of them are like very big and like you said, a lot of shredding. Can you talk a little bit more about absent presence?
Yeah, I wanted to write a song that was a contrast to what we previously had been written. I wanted to have a song that doesn't lean on guitars, but rather on the beat, on the groove, whereas the voice can like really color the song, and from it's also something that we haven't really done before. And when we were in the studio, we really saw that like our singer, like I think personally this song is the only song on the album where the vocals like really shine, like they have room. Basically the music gives room to the voice. And that's something new for us. And it was basically a song that it was like an experimental song, so to say. And that's what our idea was, like go more like introspective, like slower tempo, like some melody in the background, but like nothing that really attracts your attention. It's just like something that's there, but just set the mood.
I definitely hear that. Mm. So, going back to the band's sound, I can imagine that the music definitely would be a good soundtrack for a horror film because of the haunting aspects of it and the cinematic feel. With that in mind, do you have any favorite horror films? If yes, what are they?
I'm not really into horror music, but we are really into sci-fi stuff, like obviously all the classics, but also this Netflix series Black Mirror is something that's really interesting to us. So we more or less pull pull a ID or IDs, like pull inspiration from this kind of themes.
Okay, I always get, cause like I feel like sci-fi and horror are a little bit similar, but they're their own thing, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
See, so
We're not so much into brutally murder people, or things.
I feel like the music videos would say otherwise. Right, so do you have any leftover material that could be? I know it's too early to say, but do you guys have any leftover material for a new album?
Yeah, we have shitload of material, and because we were writing for 4 years, we have also a lot of material that we left out. We have some songs, I think 3 songs that we have finished or more or less finished, but that we didn't use in the recording session. For obvious reasons that we either didn't like it or didn't fit with the rest of the songs. So yeah, we have quite a lot. But like with this album now, we're going to go on tour in Europe in June, in Latin Americas in July, and we're talking about a US tour in 2026. So after all these tours, we're going, back in, focusing on songwriting, and perhaps we just, start from scratch. Perhaps we pull a few ideas that we already have in the cloud. It's just, we are a band that we just take it from whatever we feel when we start writing music, and we don't really have like a clear plan or vision. Once we start, we just try to pull up stuff that is inside of us, and then we're just gonna puzzle and perhaps pull some stuff online, and to make it complete songs, or we don't know yet. First, we have to focus on the getting this album released in the way that we envisioned it, and how we like can promote it the best possible way.
Okay, and you actually read my mind because I was gonna ask about the future
Uh,
plans for the band. So definitely touring and eventually starting on a new album. Is that correct?
yeah, that's correct. And we have a lot of territory here in Europe. We built good fans in Southern Europe, like Spain, Portugal, Greece, Turkey. Um, we also gonna explore new territories this time in Denmark and Sweden that we haven't previously done so often. So yeah, we have a festival in Mexico confirmed in October. So we're like trying to expand our fan base, and bring the music to places we haven't been before.
US tour, that would be exciting. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we're talking to some partners that we have there. We have an American booking agency, um, Atomic Music Group, and we are talking right now with some big bands to come as a support with them. Let's see if we can make it happen, but we definitely want to come over.
Is there a US band that you guys would love to tour with?
A US band, yeah, so many. I mean, I don't know. Revocation is this US or is Canada? Yeah, there's many bands. We also have some friends in Canada and Voivod that we would really like to do some stuff there. Maybe also with Obscura that we did European tour. Hopefully we can do something in America. We're like in the phase of exploring, or like possibilities, and so on.
I just looked it up. Revocation? Is that how you say their name?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're American.
Yeah, so who knows where we're gonna be next year. Hopefully, we can make the trip, and would be really awesome to go. On our first US tour in the history of our band, and it's some dream of us, that's gonna come true.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right. One or two more questions. Do you have any hobbies outside of music?
I do a lot of graphic design. Actually, I design album covers, but also like some boring corporate stuff, or boring like corporate stuff. Other than that, I love to collect cassette tapes and vinyl records. I'm also participating in a mixtape exchange, whereas we do it the old school way of making mixtapes with metal music and sending it around through Europe and USA. It's really fun. Like I can combine graphic design and music, so it's a bit different than playing, but it's also nice. And I love to go mountain biking, and basically the rest of my time I spent on making music.
What's the oldest cassette that you have in the
The
collection?
oldest, whew, yeah, the oldest cassette. I don't know right now. I think I have like 2,500 tapes.
Sheesh, you can go
Yeah.
through all that?
Yeah, it's just a hobby, that gets a bit out of hand at some point, and then you just continue doing it.
Fair enough. Alright, so before we go, do you have any last words that you want to say?
Yeah, if you haven't checked the band, make sure to check it out. We have a few new songs available on YouTube and Spotify. We're looking forward to the album release on March 7, and we're even looking more forward to come over to the US and play for all of you.
Alright, sounds good. We look forward to seeing you guys in the US. We look forward to seeing you guys in the US eventually. Sorry, I can't talk. Um, alright.
Yeah, and of course, thank you for the interview and talking with me about the new album.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to talk with you too.